No, I never posted that.
Oh my good. Can I tell them about that?
Yeah.
Let me tell you about something real quick.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. Today I am reporting live from Cancun. Corey and I are in Cancun right now for our anniversary slash baby moon slash early birthday trip. You know, March is a busy month for us Dixon, so it's kind of like a all of the above sort of trip. And this is also when Corey is free as well as far as his spring break goes, because he's a professor, so he is on more of a academic schedule. So I did not bring my huge tripod because didn't feel like it. So I have my like little vlog handheld tripod. So I'm gonna try and do this video holding up the camera. So if it's a little shaky, just excuse that. You know, I'm trying, but I'm gonna try and hold this camera up. I was trying to like set it down on something, but it just wasn't looking right. So yeah, I'm gonna just hold it. But I'm in our hotel room. I can put on the screen a little walkthrough of what our room looks like, because at this point we've been here for a night, so it's not like it's great looking. We have stuff all over the room, so I'll put it up on the screen so you can see. But the resort is really nice. We've been here for one night so far, and we really are enjoying it and just kind of having a good time, chilling, spending some time together, just some quality time and good weather, because in New Jersey, it was like in the 30s when we left. So yeah, here, I mean, I can see what the weather is. Let me check. So yeah, right now in Cancun, it's 78 degrees, 78. Can y'all see that? 78 degrees. And it is 10:30 in the morning. We're kind of like early risers. So we woke up at 6:30, got dressed, had room service, and I shot some content for a partnership that I had to do. So yeah, right now Corey's at the gym and I skipped it for the day because I'm already dressed. So I really just wanted to talk about my first trimester symptoms in this video, just to kind of have it all in one place. And I will say that so far my pregnancy has been very easy. I know that some people do not have the easiest pregnancies and that they can be very hard and taxing and just draining to the point where it's very hard to enjoy pregnancy. But for me, I've been feeling really good during this pregnancy. I've had like, I'll get into all the symptoms I had in the first trimester, but overall, I would say I've been feeling really good. I definitely feel for anyone who's had tough pregnancies or experienced just a lot of hardship during that time. I definitely feel blessed and grateful that that was not my experience, but I have empathy for those who did have that experience, because I'm sure it was very tough. If y'all see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes because I created a note in my phone that had symptoms week by week, just so I could keep track of it, just for myself to look back on. But I would just say, like, starting early on in the pregnancy, I had a lot of fatigue. So I would say fatigue was like my biggest symptom in the first trimester, like just tired. I wrote general fatigue, lethargy, not wanting to do much, less talkative, more anxious, disinterest in social media posting, sleeping more soundly and deeply, desire to go to sleep earlier, and drinking more water. So this was early on in the pregnancy. And I'm really in tune with myself. So I know I'm a very talkative person. So if I don't want to talk, I can feel that. Or if I'm feeling irritable, I can feel that, you know? So that's how I was feeling. I guess a little bit more temperamental early on. What else? I also noted that I had frequent urination, especially at night. Early on in the pregnancy, like the first couple of weeks, I wanted more savory foods. I noted again in another week, less talkative, exhaustion. And at a certain point, I was having a sour taste in my mouth. So far, this is how I was feeling like during week 4 to 6, just like not feeling like myself, and like I said, like a sour taste in my mouth. I think that was early on one of the most aggravating symptoms. And like I said, I never had anything that was just horrible, like unbearable, but it was just annoying, you know? So I had a bad taste in my mouth all the time. No matter what I ate, I would just have a sour taste in my mouth, and that just was annoying, but it wasn't unbearable. I think it was like acid reflux. just like maybe some of my stomach acid getting through the esophagus or something. Yeah, I didn't have like full-blown acid reflux, but I did have like a sour taste in my mouth. The next week I noted exhaustion, sour taste in mouth again, and then bloating. In the first trimester, I had a subchorionic hemorrhage. So I was put on pelvic rest for about a week or two. I think about a week until it resolved. But a subchorionic hemorrhage is just like a little pocket develops. I'll put up a picture, but basically where your embryo is, a little pocket of blood develops outside of the placenta, and it can cause like spotting. For me, it was visible in ultrasound, but I didn't have any spotting. So when I went back the next week, it had resolved on its own. If it wasn't visible in the ultrasound, I would not have had to go on pelvic rest because I didn't have any actual symptoms from it. But it's just like a precaution, you know, to kind of scale back on exercising. And pelvic rest doesn't mean like you're bed rest or bedridden, but it just means that you scale back on like exercising. You just kind of take it easier. You avoid from intimacy, sexual intimacy, just stuff like that. So yeah, I had that, but then by the next week it was gone. So, and then towards the end of the first trimester, I put that I was having very vivid dreams, can wake up and remember everything in detail. And I remember that was kind of crazy. It's just like, I would just wake up and be like, I cannot believe this. It was almost like I watched a movie. That was really different. But thankfully, a lot of the dreams were not nightmares. They were just like vivid dreams, because I feel like vivid nightmares would be horrifying. And I'm glad I didn't have to experience that. And then I put regaining energy and can do more tasks around the house. Towards the end of the first trimester, my energy did come back, and that was great because I was really struggling. So I know sometimes people are like, oh, Leah, why are you not posting? Or I knew you were pregnant. I don't even post that much anyway. But when I first got pregnant, I was like, I was doing my like 9-to-5 job and keeping up around the house the best that I could. But other than that, I was relaxing. And I feel like it's really important to be present. Like over the years, that's something that has become a huge emphasis in my life, is being present and not forcing myself to have to always perform. You know, if I'm not feeling well, allowing myself to be in that, even if it's for a season. If I'm not feeling talkative, not forcing myself to get on camera and talk, you know. So over the years, God has really showed me how important it is to just not force things, not force content, not force anything. You know, I do what is like required of me, but I don't always have to go above and beyond in every single season. So, you know, when I first announced I was pregnant, a lot of people are like, oh, that's why you're quiet. Like, I've had seasons of quiet way before becoming pregnant. And yeah, they're probably going to continue, honestly. It really depends on how I feel. Like, whenever I get into the third trimester, I probably will feel exhausted again. And then I probably won't post as much because I'm going to be tired. So, you know, at the end of the day, when it comes to content creators, I think it's so easy to want more and more and more of them. And I get it because I watch content creators as well. But content creators are just normal people. And I don't know how people keep posting like week after week after week, month after month, year after year, decade after decade. It's like, aren't you tired? So yeah, I've allowed to give myself more grace. I used to feel really bad about it or feel pressure, like an internal pressure. I need to post, I need to post. Child, I do not feel that anymore. I don't know if it's just because I'm inching towards 30, but I feel way more confident in my decisions that I make, because at the end of the day, it's my life and I have to do what is best for me. So yeah, I say all that to say that towards the end of the first trimester, I got my energy back. So that's when I was like, okay, I think I could start posting again. And I'm more open to talking to people, you know, because like I said, I was not the most talkative. And I will say this did not extend to Corey. Corey and I are really good. So it's just like more extra people, like extended people that I would talk to. Maybe I don't feel like talking as much, but with Corey, he could attest, when he comes home, I talk. I always talk to him. So I definitely wasn't lonely. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to say all that just to encourage anyone to like be honest with yourself with how you feel, and don't force yourself to do things that is not natural to you in a given season, no matter what, you know. just do your main responsibilities, but you can't expect yourself to be an overachiever for your entire life. Like, that's just not realistic. So, and then the last thing I noted was that I was having more frequent urination, sometimes going 4 to 6 times a night. Like, I just remember waking up like over, like, are you serious? There's no way. There's no way I'm awake again right now. And sure enough, I was awake. But I will say, after I go to the bathroom, I would go right back to sleep. So that was basically the first trimester as far as like my symptoms and how I felt. Like I said, some things were more annoying, but overall was very manageable. All right, look who's back from the gym and all showered. Hey, babe.
What's up?
How are you feeling on vacation?
Man, I am feeling good. I'm feeling relaxed. I'm just feeling blessed. You know, we always talk about our vacations are typically surrounded by some type of nature. It always just gives me a fresh perspective of God's glory, especially with a vacation that can be really just self-serving in general. To be able to kind of have some outward godly focus, it's been great. So I'm feeling good.
Awesome. So as far as the first trimester goes, do you remember anything? Did anything stand out to you? How do you feel my pregnancy has been going? And not the second trimester at all. So
yeah, with the first trimester, I would say honestly, you know, I've kind of joked about it a little bit earlier, but I would say it's almost was boring in the sense of, in a good way though, right? So I don't remember a lot of nausea, extreme discomfort, mood swings, crazy cravings, like a lot of things that you typically hear about. It was kind of none of that. I would say the biggest thing that I remember is just fatigue setting in. I'm tired. I can't do this anymore. Like, we just woke up.
I feel like
what can you not do?
I couldn't even run to Target. I'm like, I cannot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Leah would get up. Okay, I think today I'd like to, you know, get some breakfast, go to the store, and then maybe go make this return and this thing, and then maybe go do some grocery shopping. And it's like, okay. In my head, it's like, we'll make it to the first task, and then that's it. But other than that, honestly, it was pretty smooth. I would say it was a lot of, you know, conversation around the idea of, you know, like what we thought things would be like, you know, just kind of that, just really kind of trying to settle into the reality of that.
Of being parents.
Yeah, just being parents and things like that, just in the sense of, you know, what do we want this to be like? What do we want that to be like? And just kind of mitigating, you know, the balance of like, man, we're excited about everything happening. But again, just like I mentioned with the vacation, like how can we still be kind of God focused in this? Like, I would hate to be so caught up as a father, potential father, and get so caught up in the things of like, you know, furniture, decor, names, colors, schemes, and not be thinking about, okay, how can I really develop myself as a father? I would think if it's one thing I could tell myself before I got married, as a married person, it would be like, do more to prepare yourself as a husband. And some people say, well, you're never really ready, but there's things you can do to be in a better space. So just God, on a disposition level, making me ready for what's going to happen, to be supportive of Leah and all that stuff. I was trying to think about something else, but I was going to say, I think that's it.
Yeah, people are going to wonder, like, how did we feel when we first found out? So Corey and I were actively trying to conceive, so it was not a surprise. We took a pregnancy test and we didn't know what it was going to be. So I think we were really happy, but we weren't necessarily surprised. We were trying to conceive, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it wasn't like a oopsie or accident, you know? I would say before taking the pregnancy test, I had like very, very, very minor symptoms. Like I could feel like a little twinge maybe in my uterus, like so minor, but I'm so in tune with my body. I was like, is that something? But it could have easily been nothing. You know, so I think with taking a pregnancy test, it's kind of like, you don't know what it's going to be. So with it being positive, we were really happy, very grateful, very surreal, you know, and I think we just immediately became even more prayerful, like, God, please like cover us and, you know, help this to come to pass. So I think the first trimester can often be stressful because you're just trying to make it out of that window. But, you know, we really tried to remain positive, remain prayerful, and just take it one day at a time.
Yeah. I would say when I first found out, I felt generally grateful. I would say that's the main thing, right? And I can't say that. I think that cannot be overstated. But that's a pretty simple idea. I would say something else, and this may just be my inherent manhood, or it may not even be a gender thing, but my brain typically defaults to the practicality of things. So as soon as I find out, I'm thinking, okay, wow, what is this going to require of me? What do I need to do to be in preparation to be able to meet those requirements? And that's when my brain is kind of like that. So I wouldn't say I was necessarily apprehensive or nervous or disappointed, but I'm definitely like went straight into practical mode. So I say that was a big thing for me. And then another part of it, which is weird, is we've been fortunate to be in a position in life where our like external life scenario is very supportive of having a baby at this point. You know, we're completely done with school. We're into our careers. We've been married for years, and we're in a place of stability. And so, you know, this is definitely
stability.
Yeah, stability. I would say extreme stability and consistency and contentment. So this is the time in which we would want this to happen.
Yeah.
I am now in my 30s. Leah's getting there, and so everything's where it's supposed to be. And I say all of that to say, even still, when you kind of find out what's going on, there's a small part of me, and this is kind of weird, but it's a small part of me that feels like a teen, like, oh no,
what have I done
on here?
What have I
I'm
done?
Saying? Like almost that feeling that you would feel like if you know, regardless of age, if you were pregnant unexpectedly or unwantedly, like not in a bad way, but just in a way that's just kind of like shocking. It feels kind of like I don't know, almost kind of like a balance between fun and irresponsible, but it's what we wanted to do, you know, so.
Yeah, I felt like that too. I kind of felt like, oh my gosh. But at the same time, it's like we're super old. But it's that feeling. I think that when you like are younger and it's always like, oh, don't get pregnant, don't do this. It's kind of hard to like shake that feeling. Even when you're an adult, it's like, oh my gosh, like, but we're married. We've been married for 5 years, you know what I mean? So I think, yeah, it was really surreal, but we were very excited. I would say I was probably a little bit more apprehensive than Corey was. He automatically goes to like protector, provider mode. So I think that maybe was a difference, which is helpful because you're able to help me kind of like manage my feelings. But for the most part, I was feeling really chill, like just very grateful. Yeah, so that's how we felt about that. Let me think, what else? Have I had any like interesting cravings, or have you noticed any like shifts in cravings?
I would honestly, okay, a couple things. One, I would say Leah hasn't had many new cravings. Some of her old cravings have been intensified from my perspective. I think she may feel a little bit different, but like Leah always likes savory snacks, chips, stuff like that. That has increased. Leah's sensitivity to spices has decreased. So we'll be eating things that she's typically like, oh, too spicy, and she's just like, more. And I'm like, man, we might need to, you know, pull back a little bit. It's a little spicy, you know what I'm saying? Because I like more spice than her, but she's typically like saying the things that I like is spicy, she's saying is she barely can tell it's spicy.
Right, because even like the hot honey.
Oh yeah. I use like a hot honey, so it's like honey with like peppers and pepper oil infused in it or something like that. So it just, you know, a little spicy, a little sweet, something like that. So Leah's been on that, where she's typically like wants nothing to do with it.
It doesn't even taste spicy to me at all, so that's weird.
The last thing is her craving for chocolate has decreased. So, and maybe that's just the natural resistance to caffeine or something like that. For a protectant,
maybe so.
Little protectant kicked in where your body's like,
I never thought of that.
Not me either till just now.
Yeah.
But yeah, she usually likes a lot of chocolate, and now not so much. So
I like vanilla things, like vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go for something savory any day. So that's been interesting. And I think we've just been enjoying this time together. It's a very special time in our marriage and for our family.
And I say another thing is, despite, like we mentioned, that consistency and stability and everything like that, I would say this road has not come without its challenges. You know what I'm saying? But what me and Leah have found in our relationship is that our challenges that we face, and legitimate challenges that we face, because I know with the way vlogs and social media set up is very like the good side, you know what I'm saying? A good side in the camera and all that stuff. And we just seek to give God glory. And I don't think us explicitly putting our lavishness on there or our deepest of valleys on social media does that. But with the seriousness and legitimacy of some of the challenges and stuff we go through in life, what we've realized is it's honestly a time that usually pulls us closer to God and closer to each other.
Yeah.
And we tend to have been blessed for God's fruits and the fruits of the Spirit to really shine through in these times. And so we've been thankful for that during the challenges we've faced up until this point.
Yeah, I mean, we had our fair share of challenges. But I think another thing that I've realized over the years is like, for me, I was mentioning earlier, the importance of like making decisions that are right for me, Holy Spirit led, that we're in agreement with. And one of those things is just privacy. So people have been like, oh, are you going to share your trying to conceive journey? No, we're not going to share. I feel like there should be things that are left private in people's lives. That's how I feel. There are a lot of people who share their journeys. So if that's of interest to you, you can definitely find that on social media. But it's just not my preference. And then also a lot of people have been asking me, how far along are you? How far along are you? But I also don't feel comfortable sharing how many weeks I am in real time. To me, that just feels more private. Like nobody really knows. I mean, close family knows, but that's it. So I don't want comments about my body or like, oh, you're this size for this far along, or, you know, I don't want to be compared to anybody who's watching this, you know, like just, I've only felt comfortable sharing like the trimester that I'm in, and that's just my personal decision. So I would say I'm somebody that I know who's really good at setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is really uncomfortable a lot of times. It's not always the most likable thing to do. I'm sure people watching would love to know like what was your journey trying to conceive, or, you know, how many weeks are you? But at the end of the day, it's my decision what I want to share online for who knows who to consume. You know, the core of my audience is really supportive and loving and kind, and I appreciate y'all. But once you go over 100K followers, like you get a lot of trolls and stuff like that, and I feel like protecting my peace and being discerning is something that God has given me so much like wisdom in over the years. So yeah, we've just become more private, and I feel like even with having the baby, privacy is probably going to continue to go up. So I'm trying to find ways to share what I'm comfortable with so that you guys can be on this journey to some degree, but also maintaining my comfort levels and privacy, because it's so easy to give that away. And I feel like certain times in our lives should be sacred.
If you wanted a quotable for this video, I would say one of them could be this: the best relationships have boundaries. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like a plant. You prune it, you trim it so that it has the best ability to grow. And what I've seen the trend on social media is, same has been the trend with anything when somebody's kind of using their self, their body, their image, their likeness as a product. You just need more.
It's never enough. It's never enough.
And that starts to ruin the relationship over time. And so, as Leah mentioned, you all have been extremely great. The relationship that y'all have had with Leah over the course of the years, from my observation, has just been really fruitful and just beneficial, and just mutually a blessing both ways. And so when we talk about things and boundaries, you know, we have boundaries with even our immediate family members, co-workers, friends. And so
yeah,
just you know, so even I would say we have boundaries more so than us just being like private, because we talk about stuff, but with boundaries, you know what I'm saying? What's fruitful and what's not, you know what I'm saying? And so I think that's important.
I would just encourage anyone who's having a hard time with like setting boundaries in their own lives. Like that's something that you can definitely grow in. I used to be a chronic, and I mean chronic, oversharer, and I just could not get a handle on that. But God has helped me so much in that area. And I feel so much peace in just being authentically me, even if that means more reserved. And I think that that's honorable to my marriage, to me, to God, that we're able to share in a way that is ultimately glorifying to Him. I know this makes me think about before someone commented, why do you never kiss on camera? And it's like, because we have boundaries. No, this is not that couple. So
my question is always this: to what degree is this profitable for the viewer? You know what I'm saying? Because for me and Leah, you know, we appreciate just having an outlet to, you know, to bless God, an outlet to encourage people to operate in our spiritual giftings. For you, you know, hopefully you're being encouraged, you're receiving teachings that you find beneficial for your life. But I cannot see a benefit for you to see us kiss. Or what I can see even more than that is people who don't want to see that, or somebody who that could be a stumbling block for. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's
it's just unnecessary.
It's just unnecessary.
If you kiss your dude on camera, then more power to you. But we have boundaries.
Yeah.
And I will say, setting boundaries can be uncomfortable for the boundary setter and then also the boundary receiver. So just don't think it's not a feel good thing. It's just more so like having your personal convictions and really honoring that. So I wanted to address that. So when people are like, how many weeks are you? why I don't reply, just because I'm not comfortable sharing that.
My summary of what we're saying is, it's not so much when we think about boundaries is what do we want to keep from y'all, it's what is profitable for you all. You know what I'm saying? What's a balance? Because I've even seen individuals who will talk about things a certain way and then maybe have a private paid for space to talk about more, whatever type of stuff. And what we found is rather than doing that, just have a good balance of what is good for, you know, the overview. This is essentially like having a conversation with somebody on speakerphone. You got to keep it kind of chill.
Yeah. And we're grown, so.
Yeah, man, I'm telling y'all, like, there's not much going on outside of this that y'all really would even want.
But like you said, people always want more and more and more, and it's like, I've been there, done that, and it's never enough. So if you're a creator yourself, I would also recommend just really tuning into the Holy Spirit and allowing him to lead you and guide you, because he will, and just be open to that, because it doesn't always equate to having like the most interesting content, or it doesn't always equate to having like the most vulnerability as people would like to see. But there's so many other ways you can be vulnerable and use your gifts. Like my last example will be like, we're here on this baby moon anniversary trip. I talked with Corey about like vlogging or not vlogging, because we typically vlog whenever we go somewhere, but it's like we decided like this is our last time to go somewhere before our baby comes, so it's like, you know, why not just enjoy it? But the thing that I found that could fit into my comfort level is just sitting down and doing this video and just sharing in this capacity. So, you know, there's always ways where you can show up that you're comfortable with. And I think if your audience truly supports you, they will understand you and your, you know, your boundaries. And ultimately you can just set realistic expectations, and then they can understand. And like I said, once we have this baby, we're probably gonna be even more private. So we're just not
There'll
gonna
probably be even more boundaries because there's just so much, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I don't even know if I want the baby to be on YouTube, you know, at all.
And my thing, and I get it, man.
We've been talking about this.
Yeah, and I don't even see it being one of those things where like can't see the face until this, we can't know the name until that. But it's just that, you know, it's about vulnerability. So for me, it's part of my responsibility as Leah's husband, I believe, is to cover her. And that's in a literal and a metaphorical sense. And the same with a child, you know what I'm saying? Children by nature are extremely vulnerable. Would I put myself up here if my nose was snotting and I was slobbering and blubbering? Would I put myself up here if I was in a bathtub? Would I put myself up here if I was in a compromised position, or if I was fussy because I had a bowel in my pants? Like, come on, no. And so, I mean, not that babies, you know, can consciously care. But again, to what degree does that profit y'all? To what degree does that give God glory?
People will want to see the baby, and it's like, you know, that's something we'll just have to decide on later. But my whole point is that we're in discussion about these things. We don't just like make rash decisions. We don't just follow trends. We don't go with what's going to be the most popular, what's going to get the most views. We're a true family, and I hope that by seeing the way that we live our lives and the way that we try to honor God with our lives, that you guys can be inspired to show up as your authentic selves, even if everyone doesn't like it. Because I feel like to be a Christian, you should be bold in your faith, bold in your convictions. And, you know, people pleasing kind of has to go out the window. It doesn't mean you're rude. It doesn't mean you're mean, but you can set boundaries in real life and on social media, and not feel guilty for that, because you're in control. To some degree, you know, God gives us a level of control. So just consult him, consult the Holy Spirit, and move accordingly. So if you could say I had one craving, 'cause I haven't had crazy cravings, but one normal craving, what do you think it is? Like if you could just say, this one thing, Leah will eat this any day of the week.
Like extremely specific?
Yeah, just
Cheetos
one thing.
or
I
chips.
knew you were gonna say Cheetos.
Yeah, man, like Leah fingers been orange. Now I'm just playing. It's just been an increase in that. Not even so much. I mean, I would say definitely an increase in consumption, but just an increase in desire. You know what I'm saying? She's not eating Cheetos every day, but I think she wants them every day.
I could.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never, since we've been married, I've never been like, hey, let's go get some Cheetos. No. It's never happened.
To be honest, Leah's taste has, like I said, it's like usually it's not, rather than just an increase in abnormal cravings, the things she wants has kind of increased, and then some things she typically likes, like chocolate, has decreased. Leah was, I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna be stopped.
What?
Leah is typically one that does not see herself as one who eats fast food, right?
Unless it's Chick-fil-A, because nobody counts.
That's for
Chick-fil-A.
health reasons mainly, you know what I'm saying? And just like we really like foods more likely that we make at home that have just been more fresh or something like that.
Or like a restaurant.
Or a nice restaurant or something like that where, but Leah's been like, ooh, what they got at Taco Bell? Or
right, I'm just like, what's the appeal?
What's going on at McDonald's, you know?
Why do people like it so
McDonald's,
much?
Taco Bell, like, those are the things that I would eat before I ate Leah, you know?
Before you ate Leah, what the heck?
I said those would be things I would meet before I ate Leah. Those would be things I would eat before I met Leah.
Okay.
And it's just like, you know, where she was just like, I don't really do that so much. So the fast food and graphic tees kind of went to the side. No, I'm just going to leave that out.
I'm not leaving that out.
You can leave that out.
I'm not leaving that out.
You can leave that out. So it's just been interesting to see her have cravings for things that are more unhealthy, honestly.
I mean, I've never been like, ooh, why do people like Taco Bell so much? Now I'm like, I'm open to seeing what's going on over there.
I will say, if y'all did want to have some fun with this video in the comments, spice things up for the way we typically do things, leave your Taco Bell order in the comments.
Yeah, or leave your favorite fast food order in the comments. Yeah. And it's not to say that we're going to be going and eating this every day, but there's just days where it's like, I wonder what's at Taco Bell. Because I haven't been there since I was a kid. So I'm like, it's been a while.
So I don't know if Leah ever posted this, but if she did, and you tell me if you did or not, but let us know in the comments if you remember that. Me and Leah, we don't do a lot of trendy stuff. But one time we tried to go order whatever the person in front of you ordered at a restaurant or something.
No, I never posted that.
Oh my god. Can I tell them about that?
Yeah.
Let me tell you about something real quick. Okay, as we talk about boundaries and just doing us and not necessarily following trends.
The camera might die soon, so.
And following trends and all that. We are very tempted to just try stuff that people are doing online.
We used to be.
We used to, like, yeah. I mean, like early on, like years ago. Years ago, for sure. But one time we tried to do a trend where at the time people were going to fast food restaurants and just saying, give me whatever the person in front of me had and just trying it. We went to one restaurant. We got behind a minivan and the family had to put
It was a Sunday afternoon.
The family had ordered like an onslaught of food, but we get the order regardless. And that was the first time we tried like a good chicken sandwich. That was right before the Popeyes chicken sandwich craze. We tried it. We're like, yo, this is actually pretty good. Then it blew up like crazy and all that stuff.
We could have been on top of that, you know?
We were supposed to go to like maybe 4 or 5 restaurants that day. We did that one time. We were just like, what are we doing?
First of all, it seemed ridiculous because the person in front of us ordered for like a huge family. And I'm like, I cannot. And we didn't want to, I deleted all that footage because it's like we didn't want to like put out overconsumption and
promote
like
gluttony, wastefulness.
Yeah, and just being like irresponsible with money, like because you.
It was so.
This is an example of just being true to yourself. Because I was like, this video is super popular.
Yeah. We
should do this, and then it just felt really weird. So we just tried to stay in our lane.
Yeah.
Moral of the story.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're gonna end the video here. But I hope that you enjoyed kind of like hearing some of the first trimester symptoms that we had, how we felt when we became pregnant, why we have certain boundaries that we have, and, you know, just getting to spend a little bit of time with us here on our vacay. I brought the camera just for this video. So, you know, I be trying, y'all. I'm trying to post what I can, where I can. And like I said, I got more energy. So by the time I get to the 3rd trimester, your girl may be tired. So yeah, the fact that I even have the energy to be out here and do all this stuff, that's why they say to go on your baby moon in the 2nd trimester, because you have so much more energy, which is true. So, okay, the camera's about to die. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment below what your favorite fast food place and order is, and maybe your girl will try it. Thanks for watching. Bye.